Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 126 of my brand new Comics Haul series, where I show you guys all the new books that I pick up at my local comic shop every single week. So I've got a really good variety of books this week. I think this is like the most different publishers I've had in a really long time. In 1 week, I've got one from Boom Studios, one from DC, four from Marvel, and one from Image. So let's just start it off here with the one from Image. This is a new ongoing series as far as I know. I think this is ongoing. I'm not sure how many people have heard about this or are planning on picking it up, but this is called Kill Your Darlings #1. Kind of a last second pickup for me. I just got it off of the shelf. But it's written by these guys, Parker and Sheridan, right? Who are like these podcast hosts. I know they've done stuff with like Ryan Stegman and Donnie Cates that I've listened to before. I'm not sure what they're up to these days, but I've really enjoyed like their podcasts they've done in the comics community before. And in those, they'd always talk about how they wanted to write, right? So this is like their first time actually collaborating on writing. And they've already got a big gig with Image Comics, I guess just because they're well known in the community or whatever it might be. This has something to do with some sort of like fantasy world that this little girl constructs that might somehow translate to the real world in some way. That's at least what it's looking like. So it seems creative. I'm really looking forward to it. And since they work closely with like Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman and stuff, it's probably going to be a pretty big deal and like a high concept and everything. So I mean, I can't recommend this yet. I haven't actually read it yet, but I'm hoping it'll be good. So let me know if you're planning on picking that one up down in the comments. Let's just move on to Marvel Comics though. We've got a couple Fall of X issues here, continuing on with that event. First one here is X-Men #26. Weird looking cover. Honestly, I feel like they should have just done like the whole Emma Frost, Tony Stark wedding all in one issue maybe, because the covers individually look really weird. Tony Stark is going to be here, right, when you have like the connecting cover, because they're doing an Iron Man issue that also ties into this. Kind of a last minute thing, right? They just announced this a couple months ago. They had like done a different solicitation for X-Men 26 with a different cover and everything, but it's like a last minute thing that we're just now learning about. And yeah, I mean, we'll see about that. I really don't think they're going to stay together too long or it's going to be anything too serious. I haven't been keeping up with X-Men or the Iron Man series. I know Jerry Duggan is on top of both of those series. And I'm just now hopping back into things with Fall of X because I really like that Hellfire Gala one-shot that started it all, right? So I'm just grabbing a couple X-Men titles. I'll also get the Iron Man issue that ties in just so I can get a better handle of whatever this wedding is going to end up being. And we'll see. Probably kind of a gimmick, but yeah, if you know a little bit more about like what Tony Stark and Emma Frost's relationship has been over the last couple months, definitely let me know because I'm not really aware of that in any way. Moving on though, like I said, this is the other kind of flagship X-Men title I guess that's going right now. Probably these main two are like the ones you should be getting to actually keep up with Fall of X. This one is Immortal X-Men #15 though. First issue I've gotten to this, I think I grabbed issue 1 when it first came out. I didn't like it that much, but now that Fall of X is involved, this is turning out to be like more of a central title, right? So last issue, it was actually a really important one. I won't give any spoilers, but it kind of gave us more of an idea of what might have actually happened to all those mutants that were sent away through the Krakoan portals after the whole Orcus takeover that sent the X-Men into like their lowest point they've been in years at this point, right? Since they've just been building themselves up as like these godly figures on Krakoa that can resurrect themselves and everything. So they've fallen really far. That's why it's called Fall of X. And yeah, I'm just really liking the concept behind this. I'm just wondering how they're going to end it, right? Because there's got to be some sort of like climactic conclusion to this. Are they going to do like an event comic at the end that like all this is only leading up to? I just have no idea. So cool looking artwork in here. I did like number 14. So yeah, getting back into some X-Men stuff. Next up, though, let's move on to another side of the Marvel Universe with Moon Knight. This is number 27. Probably my favorite ongoing Marvel series. I'll just go ahead and say it. I know I always praise this whenever it comes out, but Jed MacKay is like the best writer at Marvel, definitely, at the moment. He's done a really good job balancing all like the cast of characters in this series for a really long time now, and it seems like his run is going to be coming to an end soon. They're marketing this whole like Death of Moon Knight story arc. It's just supposed to be like 3 issues. It starts next issue and number 28, right? So I'll be, excuse me, I'll be sad to see it go. If they actually do end up ending the series, I would hope to see Jed MacKay continue on because I think he just characterizes these people really well. This looks like it's more of a team-up issue between Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon, who's like the other fist of Khonshu. They've got kind of a rivalry, but also like a friendship as brothers working together. And guest art on this issue, but it's still looking pretty solid. So yeah, one of my favorite series. I don't really have much to say about it besides that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the whole like Last Days of Moon Knight story arc is going to end up being next issue. Talking about Jed MacKay though, his other ongoing Marvel series, Doctor Strange, this is number 7. I didn't really like the beginning of this one quite as much as I had been enjoying like Moon Knight and everything. Kind of like adopted that same style though, where it was like each issue is kind of a standalone story, but there's also like interconnecting storylines that go through the whole series. But as it's gone on, we've got this really crazy, like, futuristic Doctor Strange who comes from a reality where the Vishanti, who are like those, magic overlords that control his Sorcerer Supreme powers and everything, they like sent him on this mission to fight some sort of war in another plane of existence that he was in for like thousands of years, and becomes like this, war general who just doesn't care about any of his morals or anything that he used to have. And now we see like present Doctor Strange meeting that version of himself again. So yeah, this series has just taken on a whole new level over the last couple issues, in my opinion. It's really stepping up its game. So I'd say read from the beginning because it's all interconnected, but I do recommend this one. There's probably like a trade paperback coming out soon for the first collection. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for this. Really trippy artwork, so that's also a plus to this one. And Alex Ross covers. I do recommend that so far. Next up, though, like I said, I got one DC issue. This is Peacemaker Tries Hard, number 5. This has been good so far. I mean, I don't really have that much to say about it, right? It's just a fun series. It's not in DC continuity in any way or anything, but it's just well written, right? It feels a lot like the Peacemaker show. It just has to do with Peacemaker and his new dog, which he found like as a stray in the streets. The supervillain has kidnapped the dog, and now he's just going through all these different henchmen and whatever he needs to do to get it back. That's pretty much all there is to it. Obviously, there's other characters introduced and all that, but yeah, the writer here, Kyle Starks, I've just thought has done a really good job making this feel exactly like the show so far, like the way he talks and everything. So I don't think this is supposed to actually be set in like the same universe as the show. I don't really think they do that with DC Comics, but it is its own thing. It does feel a lot like it. So if you like Peacemaker, definitely try this because I love that show. So it's been good so far. Lastly, that was the last issue I picked up this week. We've got one from Boom Studios. It's Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, number 9. So I was really hyping this up when it first came out. Those first 5 issues were like the first story arc, right? Where it told the story of Mezzi and Maceo, these two people that find each other in the apocalypse, like in the very far future, and fall in love, right? So that's the idea of it. But now we've had like the second story arc starting with issues 6, I guess, through 10. Where they're like more grown up. They're starting to build this kind of like haven, a safe haven for people, and the only place that there's still natural plant life and everything, where they can still grow and produce like food and whatever they need for themselves to sustain themselves. But now it's all falling apart, right? So it's become more and more gruesome as it's gone on. But to be completely honest, I liked the first story arc better. That's just how it's gonna be for like a decades spanning story arc like that, though. Or series like that, like this is, right? Where each issue is so much different than the last one. So, I mean, we'll see how this wraps up. I think they're doing like another 5-issue story arc after this, and I heard it's only supposed to be 15 issues. I kind of wish they'd go longer, but we'll see about that. So, yeah, those are all the issues I picked up. Like I said, big variety. I got 4 different publishers. Feels like a long time since that's happened. But let me know if you picked up any of the issues I got down in the comment section below, or if not, what are you looking forward to reading this week? And yeah, hit the subscribe button if you're not already. We're getting close to the 600 subscriber milestone. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.